pasta. Now, what are your first thoughts when you think of pasta? For me, up until a few days ago at least, I would have said carbs, deliciousness, noodles, and more carbs. And we know there can be different types of pasta. I mean, you've got your linguine, lasagna, macaroni, and of course, the classic spaghetti. And while we've all, of course, heard of the classic spaghetti, most of us have not heard of the flying spaghetti monster. Now, you can only imagine my shock as I go to Google it to type in pasta and stumble across a religion called Pastafarianism. Now, what is this religion about, you might be wondering, and I had the exact same question, and Google did not disappoint. Now, this religion is advertised as more of a lighthearted, fun religion. The Pastafarian religion is one that believes in an all-knowing, all-powerful, floating mass of pasta. Now, how did the world come to be? Well, a man called The Tat on YouTube created an illustration depicting how Pastafarians believe the flying spaghetti monster created the world.
Yes, their supreme creator is literally a flying cluster of tangled noodles with meatball eyes. Flying Spaghetti Monster made the whole universe and all its components in only 4 days, all the while drinking intensely.
And because the flying spaghetti monster was drunk while creating our world, Pastafarians believe that that is why we have so many imperfections in our world today. And now for the history behind this religion. Who founded this and how did this come to be? The Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster was founded in 2005 by a man named Bobby Henderson. He was a graduate from Oregon State University who then goes on to write a letter to the Kansas Board of Education. Basically, the gist of this letter says that other religions should get equal opportunity to be taught, and he therefore presents the religion of Pastafarianism. Now, the Kansas Board of Education immediately shut Henderson down, didn't even bother to write him a response. Now, with that rejection, Henderson then goes to publish his work on the internet, where it gets quite a lot of attention. From the internet, it then spread and grew, and more people started believing in this religion that Henderson had thought of. There is estimated to be around 80,000 followers of Pastafarianism. Due to Henderson's new abundance of followers, he then wrote The Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster in 2006. Henderson had originally planned to use the proceeds from this book to build a pirate ship to further spread the word of Pastafarianism to the world. This next slide here is the symbol of the Flying Spaghetti Monster Church. Here is a depiction of what most Pastafarians believe is what the Flying Spaghetti Monster would look like. Now, when praying to the Spaghetti Monster, the followers would always end their prayers with "Ramen." And the Spaghetti Monster is believed to be invisible, omnipotent, and possess other powerful abilities. Now, is there an afterlife? And the answer is yes, there is. Now, for Pastafarian believers, there is a version of heaven, although in this version, there is a beer volcano and a stripper factory. Now, for Pastafarian mockers, for those who clearly mock the Flying Spaghetti Monster, there is a version of hell. Their hell is very similar to their heaven, although the beer is always stale and the strippers have STDs. Now, there are a few core main Pastafarian beliefs, one of which being that pirates are sacred. Pirates are said to be the first Pastafarians, and because of that, the believers believe they are sacred. They also consider pirates to be misunderstood and loving people. Pastafarians also believe that climate change, earthquakes, and other natural disasters like that are directly why pirates' numbers are declining today. Because pirates are considered to be sacred, many Pastafarians actually dress up as pirates or wear colanders on their head, aka spaghetti noodle strainers. Now, the next section of Pastafarian beliefs is something called the 8 I'd really rather you didn't. Now, these are basically the 8 guidelines that they essentially live by, and to be quite honest, these are really funny when you actually go through and read them. Especially because I noticed that they are all said from the point of view of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, as if he directly wrote them. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the 6th I'd really rather you didn't, because 1, it's one of the few that doesn't contain a swear word, and 2, I think it's hilarious. It says, I'd really rather you didn't build multi-million-dollar churches, temples, mosques, shrines to my noodly goodness when the money could be better spent. Take your pick. A. Ending poverty. B. Curing diseases. C. Living in peace, loving with passion, and lowering the cost of cable. I might be a complex carbohydrate omniscient being, but I enjoy the simple things in life. I ought to know. I am the creator. So there you have the 8 I'd really rather you didn't that Pastafarians tend to live by. Moving on to some of the Pastafarian holidays. Now, for Pastafarians, every Friday is considered a holy day. Also, the Passover is another holiday in which they eat loads of pasta. And of course, we can't forget International Talk Like a Pirate Day, although this is kind of like any other day for them. Also, during Ramadan, only ramen is to be eaten by Pastafarians. And finally, during the winter, around Christmas time, Pastafarians participate in a holiday called Holiday. And it literally has no rules, no guidelines, nothing you need to do to participate in it. You just do whatever you want. Now, last but definitely not least, how does one become a Pastafarian? Basically, you just do. If you want to be a member, you can just become a member. You can even go online and get a certificate of ordination if you want. There's no formal membership or money that they require from you. It's just, if you believe the same things that they do, you can consider yourself a member. And there you have it. That is Pastafarianism summed up in 10 short slides. It's been quite the journey. Very interesting to learn about. I did learn that Pastafarianism is in fact more than just a love for carbs.